What up, race fans? How about that second mud race at San Diego, huh? Mother Nature just keeps on pounding us. Everybody's hoping next week at Anaheim's going to be a nice dry race so we can actually see where people stack up without the mud. As of now, the forecast in Anaheim next Saturday is clear skies, but weather changes every 12 hours, so guess we'll just have to wait and see for that. Although San Diego did not disappoint. Most mud races disappoint. These last two actually been pretty entertaining. The cowboy Aaron Plessinger finally did it. He finally got his first 450 main event win. And his podium speech wasn't even on the podium. They didn't even let him walk up there. They interviewed him on the track. His interview was long. It was awesome. As always, AP is definitely a crowd pleaser. If you don't like AP, then you're just a natural born hater. He had an awesome night. He had a beautiful heat. Won it. Battling with Ken Roczen. Kenny made a mistake, so AP got the heat race. Then the same thing happened in the main. Ken Roczen leading. AP's in second. Ken Roczen throws it away. AP's got his first win. And not only that, now he's coming away with the red plate. He's got the points lead. Now he's only got it by 1 point over his teammate Chase Sexton. But hey, you got the red plate. Hell yeah. At least he can try to hold on to it next week. And the way he's looking with his starts and his speed on a dry track in Anaheim, and it's a triple crown, AP might be able to hold on to that red plate for more than just one round. He's looking like a force to be reckoned with. But a lot of other guys are too. I mean, we still don't know about Eli Tomac. He just went 9-2-9. He could easily come out next week and get another podium or even win. Wonder Boy Jet, you never know what he's going to do. Now that if it's not money next week, he might just dominate them all like he did at A1. And as of Jet, he had an up and down night. He come out in his heat race. He got a bad start. Not horrible, just bad. Around 8th place. But on the very first double, he jumps it. The other people in front of him don't. He passes 3 people in one jump. Comes around a turn. Hits the rhythm. Comes through the whoops. Passes 4 people. Cade Clayson, Tomac, Malcolm Stewart, and Justin Barcia. Just blew by him like it was sitting still. Like it was nothing. And then 2 laps later in the whoops, he goes down. So the same place he took the lead from 4 people is the same place he loses it to 4 people. Crazy. And then his main event was horrible. Horrible main event for Jet. He started dead last in 20th place. Now he climbed quick. Within 2 laps, he was all the way up to 9th place. But once he hit 9th, he was stuck. I mean, he crawled at a snail's pace then. He eventually worked his way up to 4th, right behind AP, Roczen, Barcia, which is not bad for starting in 20th place. So he did better than he did last weekend where he wrecked 3 times and got lapped. As for Ken Roczen, like I said, he went down in the main, made a mistake in the heat race. He started in 2nd place behind AP in the heat race. But in that main event after he went down, he had to pull into the pits. He went a lap down, ended up 12th. So he salvaged some points, but he's down there a little bit in the points. And then Barcia had a great night. Barcia come out in his heat, ran up front, got a decent finish. Good gate pick for the main. He come out in the main, started in top 3, settled in the 2nd. That's where he finished. So Barcia could catch fire too. We all know Barcia's good. Just like JS7 says, threat for a win or threat to go for the front end. So those 4 right there, running up front in the mud race, whether they're the ones running up front next weekend or the rest of the championship on the dry tracks, we just gotta wait to see. I don't usually start judging how things are going to turn out till about the 5th or 6th round. That's when everybody gets their full jitters out. Everybody sees what each other's made of. They know where they're running. But it's a stacked field. We got more people that could come up and do something. Cooper Webb, I mean, he did good at A1. He was running podium position till he went down. Finished 6th. Then last week, I don't even remember what he finished last week. I know it was horrible. But then this week, he's running up front again. He ended up finishing 2nd place, getting another podium. That's 2 on the season. So he's looking good as well. And he did good in the dry. So we get back to a dry track, Cooper Webb might just be a threat for a win too. Any of these guys can win on any given night. Even the ones that had a bad night. Chase Sexton, for example. He got a horrible start in his heat race. He snuck to the inside, tried to get up there in the top 10. Hunter Lawrence got sideways right in front of him. So Hunter Lawrence, Chase Sexton, they both start dead last in the pack in the heat. Chase Sexton starts climbing through the pack. ends up making a mistake, going off track. He made it all the way up, made a mistake, fell all the way back. Works his way back up to 7th, I think. Just made it into the main event, let's put it that way. Then the main event, horrible luck again. Comes around the first turn. This time he gets into it with Malcolm Stewart. Both of them are left laying on the ground in the first turn of the main. Sexton works his way up a little bit. A few minutes into the main, he makes a mistake, goes off track, falls back. All said and done, he worked his way up to about 7th or 8th place. He didn't salvage that many points. I mean, somehow he's still second, one down behind AP, like I said. So there's 6 guys right there that could easily be your champion. The way they're riding right now, if they do it the rest of the year, I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? See 4 to 6 people battling for the points lead, all within like 20 points of each other the whole way. That'd be awesome. And if they pass the red plate back and forth week to week, pooh, we could have an interesting year. It could be very, very interesting. But since I mentioned Malcolm Stewart, let's bring up both the Husky boys, Malcolm and Christian. These guys cannot catch a break. Malcolm ends up down in the first turn of the main. Christian Craig, he gets a decent start, but within the first 2 minutes, he goes down, ends up dead last, and that's where they stay. By the end of the main event, Malcolm Stewart was in 19th, had been lapped twice, and Christian Craig was in 21st, and he had been lapped 3 times. Like, once these guys go down in the mud, that's it. That's a wrap. They're getting lapped at least twice. They're finishing last, getting no points. I mean, it is not looking good for the Husqvarna team. The only thing holding that rig up is RJ Hampshire in the 250s. If it wasn't for him, Husqvarna would be looking pretty bad right now. But some people just don't have luck in the mud. Malcolm Stewart's good. Christian Craig's a top 10 guy. There's nothing stopping them from getting a good start next weekend or, throughout the season, running in the top 10. Malcolm could mix it up and get a podium. Hell, I predicted that he'd have a win this season. He's making me look foolish, but it's hard to tell. It could flip-flop at any given race. Now switching brands, over to the Kawasaki boys, Jason Anderson, Adam Cianciarulo. Jason Anderson, he had a decent night. He got a good start in the main. Come around turn about 6th place. Settles in a little bit. Ends up working his way to 5th. Then when Ken Roczen went down, he went up to 4th. When Jet Lawrence got up to 5th behind Jason Anderson, they battled for a few laps. Jet kept trying to get around Jason, but Jason just kept shutting the door. Jet ended up making a good block pass after the finish line, which Jason Anderson did not like one bit. In fact, Jet Lawrence waited for Jason Anderson at the end of the race, and those two had an altercation. Can't show it because I'll get fined, but I'm sure everybody saw it. Jason Anderson and Jet Lawrence look like they might be starting a rivalry. It's not going to be good for Jet. I mean, Jet could be working his way through the pack. Jason Anderson just bump him right off. I mean, that's kind of stuff Jason Anderson does. He ain't afraid to do it. And Adam Cianciarulo, he's got a little bit of work to do. I don't know if it's his arm messing with him, or it's the mud, or if his bike isn't where it needs to be, or what the deal is, but Adam Cianciarulo's got a little bit of work to do. Now, he got a decent start, too. He was right there with his teammate. He started around the top 5, stayed there for a good bit of the main, and then out of nowhere, he just dropped down to like 11th or 12th place. I think by the end of it, he was around 10th, maybe 11th. But for him to start in the top 5 and then out of nowhere towards the end of the main just fall back to 11th or 12th, that's not good. I mean, that means he's fading at the end of the race. So hopefully his arm gets better as the season goes on, which probably isn't likely. Sucks. I'd like to see AC do better. We know he's good. I say he's good enough to win a title. If it wasn't for his arm, he's got the starts, he's got the speed. He can't maintain it for 20+1. 2 more people I want to talk about. First one, Hunter Lawrence. Hunter had a bad A1. He got Vince freezed at the start of the heat race. Didn't make it through the LCQ because he had a head injury, wasn't pushing. He did better last week in San Fran. I think he was in the top 10. And this week, he did even better. Like I said, he come out in the heat race, got sideways. That's how Chase Sexton got held up. They climbed through the pack together. Hunter just barely made it into the top 9. going to the main event. Didn't have to go to the LCQ this time. Then he comes out in the main event. He gets a poor start, like 10th to 15th. Doesn't make any mistakes. Doesn't go down. Rides a nice, quiet race. Works his way up to 7th overall. So Hunter Lawrence is looking good. He's looking like he's on the momentum train. Like he's just doing better and better each week. Hopefully that continues as these tracks get dry. We get away from this freaking rain. And the last person I want to mention is Jorge Prado. Jorge Prado's last race, he's going back to Europe, start training for the MXGP to defend his world title. But while he was here in Supercross, he did good. We can definitely expect good things from Jorge Prado in 2025 when he is here full time. He got a bad start in that main event also, right next to Hunter Lawrence. Him and Hunter pretty much worked off of each other through the pack. Jorge only got up to 11th place though, but that's pretty good in a stacked field like we have now. His first year ever, his third Supercross, he gets 11th in the main. That's pretty good. So I can't wait for next year because Jorge Prado, he might be a threat. I mean, I don't think he'd win a title his first year. I mean, that's kind of impossible. But he'd be up there in the top 10. He'd be battling with these guys next year. It's going to be a sight to see. But that'll do it for the 450s. The top guys are all showing that they're ready to go. They're mixing it up. We got 3 different winners, 3 different rounds. We got a lot of people close in points, within 15 points of each other. It's shaping up to be a good season. I can't wait for next week. Anaheim Triple Crown. It's going to be a dry track. Cross your fingers. Triple Crowns are awesome. I can't wait to see who wins it. I can't wait to see if the red plate gets exchanged again. It's going to be exciting. But I'll see y'all on the next video when I break down the 250s.